001 first devlog. Hello guys, welcome. So this should be the recording of the devlog. This should be the recording of the full development journey of me recreating the hamster chef from the ground up. So after the trailer went up, I'm basically redoing the whole thing again because the original code, the original project was a lot of mess and it's in dire need of restructuring. If I don't make it this time, then I'm just going to use the previous project, not this one. So with that out of the way, I am actually now using an obsidian to frame the whole thing inside a project planning. So I basically ask this prompt, hi, I'm working on an overclock clone. So far I have made these classes. I type these three things, char, item, bun, home plate, and then a table. And then I follow up with this thing. The char can pick up and drop item. That means also can pick up bun and plate. The char can pick up bun and plate. And in my mind, I made that classes because item or food ingredients can be attached or to be put to a bun. For example, to make a burger, the bun can be a pizza dough as a place for the toppings. Then that bun class can be attached into a plate. Basically, this whole thing is the same. Basically, the item can be attached in a bun and the bun can be attached in a plate. The third class was a table, and the table can act as a cutting board and a table or act as a stove. Basically, I asked all of that. I asked ChatGPT for the ability to make it in the MD format, which is a markdown format. It's 100% compatible with Obsidian. So if we type it like this, it actually puts bracket, and a bracket is automatically recognized and converted as a checkbox inside Obsidian. And basically all of that I asked to ChatGPT. It generates all of this, and let's move on to character abilities. And in the character abilities, I need the character to be able to pick up item and automatically pick up its parent like it's a bun or the plate. What I mean is we have hierarchy here, so the plate should pick up the bun and the bun should pick up the item. Yeah, more than that, we need the pickup system a little bit more than that. So let me add another thing here. We need the character to be able to pick up the parent and automatically drop the item in hand. That is executed if the item in front of it are a lot higher in parent than the item in hand. So for example, when picking up the bun, it will put or drop the item, and picking up the plate will put or drop the bun. So if I'm carrying a pizza topping and then in front of it there's a bun, it will pick up the bun, it will pick up the pizza dough and drops the topping onto the table. Yeah, and that's basically all of the project details. This is the page I'm using to plan everything out. I hope that by finishing this checkbox, I will also finish the game. Now with that all of the planning out of the way, I actually started the project before that planning. What I've done inside the project is all of just the basic stuff. I created the project using the third person template. I duplicated the BP third person character, rename it to BP hamster character, and then I modified the character to have the squirrel mesh. The squirrel mesh have basic materials with squirrel eyes, and then the most complex materials is just the squirrel body have its subsurface color from the texture sample. And then in the blueprint side, I created a spear carry location for attaching objects. I added a capsule handler and box bumper for collision. And this bumper collision is just to make the characters not going crazy when we are stepping some dynamics objects, because we are handling foods, and foods or ingredients have some weird collision. The box bumper collision just to make sure it doesn't make our character goes crazy. And then on the character movement and camera side, I changed the rotation speed to 36,000 for very fast turning. I added a spring arm on top of character mesh, and then I set the target arm length to 0. And then I re-added the skeletal mesh on top of that arm. I add the camera rotation lag and then set the speed to 7.5 for smooth transition. All of this just to make sure that if we are turning and we want to throw the object or put the object on the direction where we are facing, I make sure it's very snappy, but the animation or like the turning of the character itself is smoothed by this arm. And on the item functionality side, I made a highlighting system using the overlay material system from Unreal. Since basically every static mesh can have its own overlay material, right? So we use that to highlight objects. And the overlay material itself is pretty simple. It's just vertex normal multiplied by a value. It's just basically extrude the faces outside, and then the two-sided sign is just flips the faces into inside out. And since the inside out is only seen by the camera because it's flipped by the two-sided, we are only seeing the back of it, so it doesn't close the actual mesh that we are overlaying it. You can see that this is where, when it's completely closed without the two-sided sign, basically just flips the objects again, and then now we are only seeing the inside out of it. Now the final touch is I'm adding the 0.02 just to overlay it again. If we don't use that overlay again, the item becomes very clear and it's untouched. Now we are only getting the outline, but if we add another slightly value to it, it's just basically re-adds the overlay just a little bit again, so the colors changes and it's overlaid. Back to the planning side, turns out the highlighting I haven't mentioned in the Obsidian page, so I'm currently adding one right now. I also just figured out I haven't added any item functionalities inside this page, so I'm adding all of them. From highlighting, can be pick up with char, can parent its child, and the example is just explaining the hierarchy of items again. Again, it's all about when you are bringing a bun, it will attach an item, and if you're bringing a plate, it will attach a bun, and so on and so forth. For item can parent its child, it's 50% done. Why? Is because if we duplicate the BP item onto itself and then attach onto itself, it works as long as we turn off the simulation, turn off the physics simulation on each of the child mesh. It works, and the character can search for the parent, and then attach the parent, grabs the parent and then attach it onto itself. Currently it's fine, but still manually done. We will figure out how to automate that when the item got attached on runtime. And how we do that, from the input grab currently binded to F, is just basically, if it's valid, it's just attach actor to component attached to our capsule or sphere carry location. And for getting the parent, it's actually handled on the highlighting sides. Once it's overlapped, we try to get parent first. We using this node get attach parent actor, and then if it's got a name, then that means we got the parent, and then we assign the parent as highlighted items. But if the parent, basically, funny thing is the get attached parent actor still feeds, and then it will output an item. But if it doesn't have an item, it will output an empty string. So that's why I recheck using the second nodes here. Just directly get display name, check the string. If it has an item, then we'll do the same. And that way, when we highlight, we always can get the parent of any of this item set, so it will always grab the parents no matter what, because since the highlighting itself, we get the parent first. And of course, this game is targeted to be a multiplayer game, and that's basically the hope, is using this Obsidian page. I hope that by finishing this, that means the game is finished. And I didn't think much, but every single feature on this page should be replicated. And the sad part of it, currently it still doesn't replicate a lot. You can see that here, the player 2 is pick up a food, but it doesn't replicate it on the first player. And the next goal is to be replicated all of the systems across network. Yeah, and that's the current progress of rebuilding Hamster Chef project. I'll post the recording now, and I will record another session. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.